Miami Hurricanes have gone out and landed one of the top junior college players available, adding some of that length to the cornerback room. Demetrius Freeney, welcome to the U.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And just like that, we've got a new Miami Hurricane to talk about. Demetrius Freeney, College of San Mateo, has picked the University of Miami. He is, by the way, to clear up any confusion, he is joining the team immediately. Class of 2023. He's enrolling in school this summer. So this is someone who can help that cornerback room right away. And to help us break it down, we got the man, the myth, the legend with us, our recruiting overlord, recruiting expert here on the Locked On Network, Brian Smith. Brian, when I talk about length at 6'1" plus, 185 plus, that's something Demetrius Freeney is bringing to that cornerback room.
It's great because that's exactly what what Miami needed. And hopefully he can come in and play right away because based on his film, I don't see why not. I was just watching it again. I'd seen it a few days ago. Then I went back and rewatched game highlights, and I also watched some of his film from his highlight video overall. Physical, he's got really long arms, and most importantly, he is a kid that is a competitor. He goes after the ball in those 50-50s that are just not normal, man. It's great to see that, and you can never have enough talent at corner, as Miami fans know. Last year was a sore spot. Hopefully that flips around this year.
As far as the scholarship count goes, he's essentially a one-for-one replacement from Terry Roberts Jr., who had transferred to Miami in January, just transferred away from Miami. And by the way, he's landed at Michigan State, Terry Roberts, which honestly, on a side note, I'm happy for Terry and his family. You know, his father is a good friend of the show, Terry Sr. Terry already knows the Big Ten. He's gone up against that competition for the last 4 years. So I think Michigan State's probably a really good fit for him, and hopefully they made the right choice. But with Terry Roberts vacating his Miami scholarship, Miami gives that to Demetrius Freeney, who I would argue with that length is probably a better fit for Miami and a better fit for the ACC than Terry Roberts was. And it's been a very active transfer portal, Brian, for Miami when it comes to bringing in quarterbacks. I mean, Jaden Davis, Devontae Brown, Jadaeus Richard from Vanderbilt they brought in, who I like a lot. And it's like all of a sudden an area that I was a little bit worried about a few months ago. Now there's almost an embarrassment of riches at corner. How does this player compare to some of the others they brought in?
I think he's as physical as any of them, which makes me think that he might get a first shot at playing some of the bigger receivers they go against. For instance, Florida State happens to have a 6'7" guy. That might be somebody, and he's really good. That might be somebody that you put out there. I mean, you've got to take those kind of players off their route tree quickly or they eat you up. So size and length, as you noted in the opening, thank the Lord for that. You're going to need plenty of it. Clemson's recruiting big guys. Again, North Carolina's always got some big receivers. Miami needed help. And when I saw Terry leave, I got a little nervous again. Yeah. It kind of seems like it goes back and forth. It's been so volatile with the cornerback room. But, hey, this is incredible. The transfer portal, now getting a kid that has 3 years of eligibility, to my knowledge, coming out of the JUCO ranks.
He does.
Look, they couldn't have really done any better. That's all we could really ask for at this point. He's enrolling. He'll get a chance to work out with the guys this summer. That's very important. He's not going to just show up in August. He'll at least know his way around campus and feel comfortable and get in that weight program. So I'm excited about it because now we have something to kind of look at from a conjecture standpoint on all Hurricanes. I know you and I talk about depth charts all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Moving the pieces around, I'm not sure. I got to look at it some more, but at least they have the options. Yeah. You know, and I know the injuries last year killed them anyway. Oh, yeah. It was so bad. At worst, he's a guy that's going to push the pile and compete. So Miami's in a better place today than they were yesterday.
And is this the first domino to fall from that junior college that he comes out of? Because this could lead us a trail that could lead to other really great things in the pipeline. So we're going to talk about that in just a second here on Locked On Canes. But right now, I got to talk about how comfortable my shorts are. I've been wearing my Birddog shorts all day. They've got the right amount of stretch. They make my legs look really good. I mean, if you don't take my word for it, ask my wife. She thinks my legs look really good in these Birddog shorts. They're really comfortable. They're perfect for the South Florida heat because they breathe. Birddog stretch khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Birddog shorts do the exact same thing as Lululemon, but they fit way better, guys. I've tried both. They fit way better than regular shorts that are made of that stiff, restricting cotton. And Birddogs, they fixed that issue by inventing cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki, but stretches. So you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. Birddogs also uses anti-stink sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. So go to birddogs.com/lockedoncollege and enter our promo code LockedOnCollege for a free Yeti-style tumbler with your order. This tumbler's great also. That's birddogs.com/lockedoncollege for a free Yeti-style tumbler. You won't want to take your Birddogs off. We promise you. Thank you so much to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen each and every day. So before we get to the domino effect here that could come from Demetrius Freeney, who's the newest Miami Hurricanes, and we welcome him. I think Brian, coming out of his visit to Miami this past weekend, so things escalated pretty quickly for him. Something that he said coming out of that visit was Miami had a really clear plan on how to get him on the field quickly. Now, again, he is eligible this year. And, you know, the coaching staff, and obviously opportunities to play are earned, not given. Like, I know Cristobal doesn't guarantee starting jobs to anybody, but they gave him a clear idea of what Miami's defense can look like with him in it and how he can get on the field quickly and not waste any time. So that seemed to be something for a player who seemed in a hurry to make his decision. Miami seemed to have said all the right things to him regarding his on-field fit. That's
a key. I mean, he had options. Oklahoma wanted him. And, you know, let's be honest, Brent Venables pretty well known for defense. Yeah. That's a big win for Miami. It's not easy to beat Venables for a defensive player. So I was impressed that they could get him. Just boom, right after the visit. A lot of times these guys want to take several trips. We've talked about that quite a bit with the high school players they're recruiting, but they landed him pretty quickly. Congrats to Miami on it. They did a good job as a staff. And now, once again, the corner room looks a lot better than it did before.
Yeah, and on Freeney, one of the reasons why he had to go the JUCO route was he grew up most of his life playing quarterback and then changed positions late. So that's one of the reasons. He's a little bit of a late bloomer as a corner, and bloom he did. And, you know, playing last year at the College of San Mateo, I'm guessing nobody who played against San Mateo completed a pass more than like 2 yards downfield, because Demetrius Freeney, number 2 JUCO cornerback in the country, and the number 1 JUCO cornerback was a teammate of his, Sione Laulea, who's also taken visits. And Laulea is going to be visiting Miami this weekend. Now, with Sione Laulea, he's a 2024 guy, so he's not going to be transitioning immediately the way that Freeney is. So he's a guy for next year. So he could be a class of 2024. He's visiting Miami this weekend. And the fact that Miami just landed a good friend and teammate of his makes me feel like I should like Miami's chances here with Laulea.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, what are the odds having the top 2 guys at one institution? I mean, the DB coach there must be one happy dude. He had a lot of fun, I'm sure. But yeah, it should be an institutional kind of deal. You bring him in, you do all the things you do with everybody, but oh, by the way, here's your buddy. Why don't you ask him what he thinks? I mean, that's really weird. I don't think I've ever seen that before, especially because they're in 2 back-to-back classes, yet they're visiting on back-to-back weekends.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that before. Miami's being very proactive, though, and I'm happy for them because they needed help. They're getting some big guys. They're getting some guys with athleticism, and it's going to change their program.
And as always, friends, if you want more recruiting scoops, one-on-one chats with me when we're not doing a show notes, you should join our exclusive subtext texting community. You get SMS text messages directly from my phone to yours. You can chat with me one-on-one there. I'm including a link in the show description below if you want to sign up for our subtext community. And if you were on our subtext community, you had a pretty good idea this was going to happen before it happened. So we're just letting you know it's a good place to be. Completely free for the first 14 days. And then if you want to opt in, $4.99 a month, we give you a lot of added value on there. Huge thank you to our recruiting expert, Brian Smith. Follow him at FBScout_Florida. Brian, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of each other for the next month or so at this time of year recruiting season.
Absolutely. Month of June and month of July. That's when the commitments take place.
We will talk to you guys again next time on another episode of Locked On Canes, part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network. Your team